2, 3, 4. All right. We are back for another week at Platte River Bar and Grill. We're going to have a great time this week. We are talking Nationals, talking about the Broncos, talking about NFL. We got some prop bets going on. I know Mr. Spencer wants to talk about prop bets. Got a little bit of Major League Baseball going on. Not a lot there, but hey, you know what? Before we get into all that, do us a favor. Click on that subscribe button. And if you like this video, smash that like button, please. And by the way, while you're there, go ahead and click on that little bell right next to the subscribe button and make sure you get all of our updates. We post quite a bit, and we would love to see you guys out here every single week. And that reminds me of something else. Guys, if you want to come down and watch us shooting this live, come on down on Monday nights. We're shooting about 7 p.m. every single night. Do us a favor, share this out with everybody. And that means even those Uber and Lyft drivers while you're riding along with them, or even your worker. Hey guys, we're going to turn this over to Mr. Spencer Cadigan and the rest of the crew. Spencer, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, sports ball fans all over this great big mud ball known as planet Earth. Welcome back to another edition of Sports and Tacos, live from the Platte River Bar and Grill in Littleton, Colorado. Tonight we're going to talk about sports, because sports are really cool.
Yeah, man.
And we're getting into my most favorite sport of the season, NFL football. Baseball's going on. There's not a whole lot else going on at the moment. There's some other stuff, but preseason football has begun.
But you gotta love that foosball.
Everybody loves the NFL. And, they love the college ball also. We love ourselves some baseball, but let's be real. Football season is upon us. The Broncos' first preseason game is under our belts.
Yeah.
As relatively uninteresting as it was.
What a great catch at the end, though, man.
The catch at the end was awesome. The game itself was a little like watching paint dry.
Well, that's preseason, especially the first of 5. But yeah.
But you don't have no names that you don't even recognize except Drew Lock, and I'm sorry, Drew Lock. It wasn't your day for that day.
It was a preseason exhibition football contest, and you could tell they had only had about 6 days of practice under their belts. that Hall of Fame game, I mean, it's cool because it's like, it's football.
Yay, it's football.
Yay, it's football, but
it ain't very good football.
It typically is not good football. So,
It's always horrible football.
You're just like, yes.
Like, what are the rookies going to do? That's the question. I mean, that's
it's like
really
you
what
get
it is.
an extra 4th preseason game.
Yeah,
basically.
right, because that's what it is. Yeah,
for all those Colorado fans out there, those college fans, the CU boy caught the winning touchdown. And you know what? He caught it with a tip and a pop in his hands. You got to give it to that man. He wants to play.
Yeah, that's make plays when you make them.
The Broncos have gotten pretty lucky with CU. I think he's a free agent. I don't think he was drafted. Winfrey, stat boy, Jimmy.
I'm not looking it up tonight.
It's preseason.
I'll look it up. It's preseason.
Well, I mean, they definitely struck gold with a CU free agent last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He still lives in his mom's and pop's basement, folks. I gotta love him.
But by Wash Park, so I would totally live in his mom's
Probably
basement.
Probably a pretty nice basement.
Hey, why don't we get into national news, man?
You want to do national? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
we'll start off with some national news today before we jump into Broncos talk. I saw a pretty cool headline, and you guys chime in if there's any national news that I forgot about. But freaking Vinsanity, Vince Carter is coming back for his 22nd NBA season. That is amazing. He's still a beast. I mean, he doesn't play that many minutes anymore, but when he comes in there, he still puts up highlights.
And I thought he retired like 6 years ago.
Vince Carter just keeps going and going.
When I saw him on the stat sheet last year, I was like, really? He is still playing basketball.
He's
doing another
year.
year.
He's like the Energizer Bunny.
Last time I remembered him, he was with Toronto. Is he still with Toronto?
No,
he's not with Toronto. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure who he's with.
He is playing in a season that a lot of people who'll be playing against this year don't even have that many years on Earth. And he has that many years in the NBA. That's
That's
pretty
insane, but that's the thing. I mean, he's still lighting it up like when he has the opportunity.
Weird. Yeah, and he's a huge name, man. You know he's going to draw people.
I bet he's called Dad or Grandpa, one of the two.
Yeah, old man.
I mean, you don't see people playing in the NBA that long very often.
No.
It's not necessarily like football, but it's a pretty athletic.
I mean, I knew Kareem was getting bald when he
Well,
quit, so he was there for a while.
He's
but-
with the Hawks. He's with the Atlanta Hawks.
The NBA is directly in between baseball and NFL. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I mean, look clear back at baseball. I mean, who was the guy that kept playing forever?
Because I mean, think about it.
Well, there's been a few. Nolan Ryan played for a long time. Julio Franco played till he was like 45. I think,
Who was the guy they called the horse? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Well, we had the Rockies
Played
boy that
outfield all
was
the time.
44 years old.
What,
Are you talking about what sport are
year?
you talking about?
Baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan played the longest. He played for 26
Well, you
years.
could be talking about Luke Gehrig, the Iron Horse.
Yeah.
Oh well, no, I think you might be thinking of Cal Ripken, and that
Cal
was the,
Ripken, yeah.
that was the
Ripken,
most
yeah,
consecutive
yeah.
games
Most
played.
dude, that's a
over
lot.
3,000.
I
He
was
didn't
gonna
miss
look
a
at it.
game for years, but as
Right.
far as the length of a career,
Right. Right.
I think it's Nolan Ryan with 26 years.
I know
and
the Negro pitched pretty long time,
Yeah, but
too.
what about our boy that was with the Rockies, where he was the oldest man to
oh, God,
throw?
I forget his name.
Hit the ball.
No, I know who you're
and
talking.
also-
Jamie Moyer.
Jamie
Yeah,
Moyer.
Moyer.
He was
And,
Jamie Moyer.
You know, he was with San Diego for some time, and he was great, but unfortunately, San Diego wasn't.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
the two longest pro sports careers, I think, are Nolan Ryan and George Blanda. George Blanda played in the NFL for 26 years.
Kick that ball, baby.
Granted, well, he was a quarterback for like the first however long of his career, but a lot of that he was also a kicker and a punter.
Yeah.
But still, to play in the NFL for 26 years
Well, I
is
mean,
pretty
hell,
amazing.
Vinatieri's got to be getting close to that.
Well, if you look at it too, you know,
I might be wrong about. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's right, but to be able to play NBA basketball at a high level for
Yeah.
22 years is pretty amazing. So
running back from court to court.
I got to
Yeah.
give some props to Vinsanity, dude. He's still doing it.
You've got to. Go Tar Heels.
The other national headline I saw that kind of drew my attention was Carmelo Anthony is willing to play for anyone now.
Because nobody wants him.
He's an attitude. He's a problem. He's
yeah,
a disease.
You're already going to get set back
Okay.
as a team if
He
you
was,
pick him.
he was already that when he was here at Denver. So
Yeah, we know.
He left here, went to where did he go? And then he went to the Knicks.
Went
he
to
went
the
to,
Knicks.
he,
Straight
he
the
went
Knicks.
to the
Went to the
Knicks
Knicks.
because
Went
his
straight to the
wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he went to the Knicks, got the big money, which is cool. I mean,
and what
whatever.
a show that girl is. Oh my God.
That didn't work out.
No.
You think somebody's going to take a flyer on him?
I'm going to have to say no on that. The only time he actually really stands out and plays a good game and he holds all the records is Team USA basketball.
Yeah.
And they didn't even invite him to play with them this year.
Well, it makes me wonder now that he's like, it's almost like the opposite end of the spectrum. Because remember when he left the Nuggets? You know, the Nuggets weren't good enough for him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
needed the
yeah.
big city, the big money, the big
Right.
lights. I think the Nuggets should offer him a league minimum contract.
Yeah, here you go. We'll put
Just
your
bring
spot for 200,000.
I mean, you know, I bet he can still shoot the ball. He can't play defense. He might as well not be there coming back on defense. But do you think it would be worth? Do you think the distraction and I guess
Practice.
the
It's all about
cancer,
practice.
the
Well,
cancer.
first off, he wouldn't take a deal like that. I mean, yeah, Carmelo ain't gonna take nothing for less than what he thinks he's worth.
That's true. You ain't getting a deal on Carmelo, and he ain't that good
He'll just
anymore.
retire.
Here's
I'm
how I
sure,
feel
yeah.
about it. We can move on to the next item on your list because that's how much I don't like.
You think
Carmelo.
Melo's nobody's?
Who cares?
He's old news, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely. When he was
Um,
here, I was happy, but and then he just turned into an ass. So who cares? Yep, exactly. Yep, cut him out.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only other national headline that I saw that was kind of interesting to me was Andre Drummond, an NBA player for the Pistons, is on a beer diet.
Yeah, I was reading about that. Yeah,
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like literally, to get the amount of calories that he needs every day, like he has his specific diet, but he says he needs to drink beer.
Boy, he
I'm drinking
supplements.
my diet
It's
right
like-
now.
it's like a
Well, he doesn't. He's
supplement.
not eating any red meat right now.
Right,
So
yeah,
he's
yeah,
using
yeah.
that to get carbohydrates and other whatever. But
I thought
Double
that,
patty with burger, please.
I thought that was
Add
pretty
bacon.
interesting as far
I
as
mean, hell, what?
I
that's
don't
all
know.
he says.
You know what? Just tell him to go talk to Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I mean, hello. The guy's huge.
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Yeah, I mean, hell, and I've always heard the doctors say drink red wine's good for you.
I wonder if
how's beer not that.
I wonder if Andre Drummond.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
I wonder if Andre Drummond came up with his own diet and was just like,
I wouldn't
Man,
doubt it.
I'm cutting out red meat,
my
but I'm adding
I'm gonna
Budweiser.
drink. No, it's Miller Lite actually.
Miller Lite. That's right. It's Miller Lite. And he's not even drinking necessarily the best beer.
As far as domestics go, yeah, that's the best.
You think it's the best?
Yeah.
He's not drinking high-end beer. He's not like he's drinking Stella Artois or something.
Yeah, but you got to understand, Bud
In a
makes
fancy
you
mug.
wiser.
Right. You'd have to go pinky out. No.
He's drinking Miller Lite on his diet.
Right.
Just an interesting diet to me. So
Yeah.
My brother's been on that diet for years, and his belly went the opposite way.
I know a lot of people who've been on a beer diet. They don't play in the NBA though.
Hey, I'm on a Jack Daniels diet. Does that count?
I like that. That's my favorite one.
I just don't know if you could do it and play for the Pistons. It's almost like a topic for
Dude, unless you call me Spud Webb, I ain't playing. I'm too short.
you can't drink freaking Jack and water and go dunk, Jimmy.
No. Dude, I couldn't even dunk. Well, actually.
Can you touch the rim?
No. No. Well, unless you give me one of those little trampoline
Little
things.
trampoline, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Borrow Rockies from downtown.
I was gonna say you need to be wearing a mascot uniform. to do that.
Exactly.
Well, hell, I'm 5'4", or 5'5". It all depends on what 7-Eleven I come out of. But at that point, I'm boob high.
Can you touch the rim? You think
With
Tony,
a ladder?
You think Tony's got
with,
some
with a
hops?
ladder? Yeah. Right.
Me, touch the rim.
We should get an
I've never
8-foot
seen
rim.
that.
We should put an 8-foot rim out on party deck and have a freaking dunk contest.
And an 8 foot I could do.
That'd be sweet. Jimmy, you could probably dunk on an 8-foot rim, right?
Oh, yeah. I could do that.
Think you could
I could do-
360 dunk?
No.
Oh yeah,
Tomahawk?
you could.
No, I could 180 dunk.
Might be a good segment someday.
Just do some Dominique Wilkins hammer slams.
Get us an 8-foot
Exactly.
kitty.
Exactly. By the way, once you pass 50, you're happy to get a foot off the ground. So I'm just
It's
saying.
a good point. It is a
Yeah,
very good point.
yeah.
So that's all I really had for national news.
Hey, so let me switch this up on you. Let's go straight to NFL
Okay.
and not the Broncos. Let's bring up the Broncos here in a couple minutes.
Okay, cool.
I think we had a great game, but let's talk about NFL news first.
I think great game is a bold statement, but yeah, let's
it
talk
was a game.
about the
It was a game.
NFL.
It was a game.
If you like watching grass grow, it was a great game.
But you know what? You got to give it to Fangio. That boy, oh man, that boy. I
Oh.
got to give it to him.
You talking about the kidney stones?
Yes, he had rocks. Literally,
I don't even
rocks.
want to think about that.
All right,
No.
all right.
All right,
So I can talk about this for a quick second,
Oh
right?
God, do
I-
we want to talk about this?
No, but I'm gonna say this. All right. The bottom line is they are painful as hell, but when they're gone, they're gone. So I don't. I get where you're about to go with this, but when they hurt, they hurt. When they're gone, they're gone.
That's cool.
So it's not like you need to spend a week in rehab. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
but that means Daddy can't have
Oh
no more
God! Knock on wood. All right.
all right, moving on.
I'm starting off with. Sounds like with Ezekiel Elliott holding out.
Zeke.
I'm wondering, how big of a deal it's going to be, how long it's going to last. I mean, I think Jerry Jones is probably going to cough up the money because they're
He's
a good
got
team.
to.
I mean, they
He's
won.
got to.
They won a playoff game last year, but at what, that
Anytime he touches the
He's
20
also-
carries, they win the game.
I know.
Every time he has
Yeah,
a
you've
20
gotta
carry
have Zeke
hold,
on the field,
he
man.
wins the
do.
game.
But he's also a pretty smart businessman. I mean, he's not going to be strong-armed by a running back. I don't think. I
wouldn't see that either.
I think
He does hold their yardage. He does hold their touchdown.
I think Jerry Jones pays him. What do you think, Bama?
I don't know what his contract right now off the top of my head is.
I don't know
yeah.
what it is either. But if you're Jerry Jones, okay going into like fantasy this year. Say.
You know what? Let's
it's-
simplify the question. Would you pay him or would you not pay him?
Oh, I'd pay him.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
you would have to
Yeah,
pay him.
I'd pay him. Because if you
Everybody-
don't, somebody else will. And
Yep.
why not keep
So
him?
there's two. How about you, Spence?
I'm paying him.
All right.
But I guess that goes kind of what I was just saying. I would pay him. But if that demand is insane,
Well, hey,
I
Tom
mean,
Brady's been hanging out waiting for his $23 million, and and he finally got it. So
Yeah,
They got
2-year
6
extension.
They got 6.
Speaking of age, look at that gentleman.
They got
Right.
6 Lombardi trophies, though. You know. I mean, Dallas hasn't won a Super Bowl in this
Not
millennium.
the point.
Yeah,
He-
but-
No, I
he-
know,
he-
but
he-
I'm trying to put myself in Jerry Jones's shoes.
But Zeke is a person that will help you win a Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And they won a playoff game last year, and they're 10-1 to win the Super Bowl, so they have a relatively good shot at it.
Right.
If I'm Jerry Jones, I pay it, but at what cost?
Right. So I just want to clarify. I'm not sure what Tom Brady's getting, but
I think
it's
it
a
was
big
23,
freaking contract.
Was it 23 or 32?
Was it extension?
It was one of those.
You got a
two.
2-year extension.
Yeah, 2 years, but $23 million. I mean, how much of that is guaranteed? I don't know. I'd have to go back
Yeah,
and
and
look.
he
at it.
He deserved it, though. Honestly,
No,
man, 'cause, I mean,
absolutely.
every year he restructures his contract to get
He's a
less money
threat
for
every
himself
year.
to get other people on
Yeah,
the team. So he's
exactly.
getting his now finally.
Right. Elway's done it. Marino did it. Everybody's done it. You
Yeah.
know. So why has
See,
it?
but
why-
I liked what Elway did back in the day. He took a pay cut towards the end so he could have those players.
That's what Brady
no,
does.
No, he did not take a pay cut. He took
just
a
deferred.
He took a
He
pay
deferred.
deferred.
Yeah, well, he's probably
That's,
still
that's
getting
what
paid.
Brady does. Brady ain't taking pay
Just
cuts. They
restructuring
just
it,
defer it.
Right.
We'll pay you
To
later
win.
on.
Right. They're gonna
But
pay
you
him
know, if
for
my wife
20
was
years after.
Giselle and a supermodel, I'd be deferring some stuff too.
Oh, dude. At
Yeah,
that,
I'd be
at
taking
that
the.
point,
I would be
man,
taking the
no.
Bobby Bonilla deal.
Yeah,
No.
Why don't you just pay me
No.
all this money in 20 years multiplied by 8% interest?
Can I have a hamburger now and pay you on Tuesday?
Yes. Because I got a supermodel wife
Wow.
and 8 mansions all over
We
the
just
world.
heard Wimpy come in.
Take your 20
Yeah.
million.
Oh, Popeye!
All right.
And
Hey,
he's gonna need some way to kind of help keep
let's
control of
talk-
the house when she's
let's
still
talk
making
about the
money
Eagles,
and he
right?
ain't.
I'm skipping Eagles tonight just because Mike's not here. I mean, we needed Mikey
All right.
here.
Die,
so
Eagles,
what I
die.
want to talk about is Cliff Branch dying at age 71.
Oh, sorry.
That's a loss.
Cliff Branch, it's a loss, and a lot of people might not know who Cliff Branch was. And one of the reasons I bring it up is because he actually went. A lot of people don't realize he went to CU. He was I think he was an All-American wide receiver at CU, and went on to have a pretty great Hall of Fame should be career. He was one of the fastest receivers back in the 70s for the Raiders.
The Broncos hated him.
He was awesome, and he died at 71. And it just you might not think that's that big of a story, but if you've ever heard old football players from the 70s talk about Cliff Branch, he's like the one wide receiver they did not want to cover. They called it. He was like the fastest man in the NFL, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. When you look at his stats, we were actually talking last night, and we're going to get more into this next week, but when you look at Cliff Branch's numbers and you look at Lynn Swann's numbers, there's no reason Cliff Branch should not be in the Hall of Fame. And the only thing we could come up with was Lynn Swann's in there because they both won Super Bowls.
Right.
Was Lynn Swann had the one magical catch in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that was like the difference. Happy birthday,
Happy
Gary.
birthday, Gary.
Happy birthday, Gary.
So here's the thing, man. 3-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time Pro Bowl champion. Sorry,
He was a
4-time.
Pro Bowl champion?
Right, exactly. Shut up
Did
now.
he single-handedly?
He went to
Pro
the
Bowl.
he went to the Pro Bowl
It is
4
all
times.
me.
The Battle Royal
All
Pro
right,
Bowl
y'all
stuff.
just shut your
He
ass.
was the
11 against 1.
3 times first team All Pro.
Yeah.
And NFL receiving yards, he was a leader in 1974.
Yeah.
The guy was great, man. 2-time NFL receiving touchdowns
Well,
leader in 74 and 76.
it just
1974 is a beautiful year.
it's just he passed away, and
Only for you kids.
I hope to see him in the Hall of Fame someday because
Yeah,
he's an
yeah.
extremely underrated wide receiver. That's all. So props to Cliff Branch and his career. Even though he's a Raider, he was also a CU buff. So
Give him a
before he
little-
was ever
give
a
him a
Raider.
little repre-
The next news that I saw in the NFL today that kind of makes me, I think, laugh is Derek Carr has bought a house in Vegas right next to John Gruden in the same neighborhood. And I think it would be hilarious if Derek Carr buys this house and gets cut or traded or is told and never is the quarterback of the Vegas Raiders.
I'm actually curious. Are you sure you don't mean David Carr?
Hey, man,
It's
David Carr is a
Derek,
better
right?
brother. Hey, man, like I told David last
It's
week,
Derek Carr, right?
David
Isn't that
Carr
the
was
current
the better
quarterback?
brother,
David,
better Carr.
It's Derek.
It is Derek Carr.
David is now a commentator. And like I said in
Exactly.
earlier shows, they're probably both going to be commentators
Tony,
in about a year.
Tony.
Well, he was
No
a
way.
Super Bowl.
Professional clipboard holders.
You got to understand, he was a Super Bowl championship team with the
That's
New
my
York
camera.
Giants.
He was holding the clipboard, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish-
But you know what? He got a ring.
Yeah, you know,
A ring. What about his brother? Does he have a ring? No, because he hurt his pinky.
Hey, I did not mean to get us off on a little tangent. Hey, you
it's
guys
Gary's
watching the hook and
birthday.
horns coming in here.
He can do
Hey,
stuff.
here's the thing, Tony. All I wanted you to do was pay attention to the first name. That was it. That was my whole point about that. Let's move on.
I just think it'd be hilarious if he buys a house in Vegas next door to freaking Gruden and is not the quarterback of the Vegas Raiders. What are your thoughts, Bama?
I'm with you. I think it would be pretty hilarious.
Do you think that will actually? Because
And it's not going to happen because Carr will be the quarterback
think
for
Carr-
that team for at least the next 7-8 years.
you think Gruden's convinced that's his boy?
Yes, I do. I don't think he'd have took the job.
Yeah, little Chucky. Let's
But,
talk about little
think
Chucky.
about the quarterback class coming in though. If by chance they are, say, a top 5 draft pick team,
Yeah.
and you got Tua sitting there, you got the kid from
Yeah,
Oregon.
that's a lot of people coming out. But I
I mean,
mean,
they're-
if you got faith in your boy, you got faith in your boy. If you don't, you
I
don't.
okay, but they've already. I mean, it's been said that this is a make or break year for him.
Well, he kind of needs to be after the last couple
Right.
of years.
So
and
if
with
it's
the
a
talent he's got around him,
if it's a
especially
break
with,
year, wouldn't that be
Antonio.
awkward walking out of your house at 8 a.m. looking across the street, seeing your old coach, just like, "What's up, dude?"
All I can say
Then you
is
can say, little Chucky, let's be friends to the end.
I think
Yeah,
there could be
come
some
on.
awkward moments in that neighborhood. Anyways,
Bottom line is do not get a house next to your head coach.
no, exactly. So, another thing I saw, which I don't know if this is real or not, but I saw 4 or 5 days ago that Gruden was upset with Antonio Brown because he's been missing practice. Now today I saw that it's because of a foot injury.
Did you not see the picture of his foot he put out?
Did it? I haven't seen the picture.
Oh,
Is
dude,
it?
his
It's real.
foot looked horrible. man.
Okay,
Like
so
he had
his foot
And
was
stinky.
jacked up.
Yeah.
Damn
Okay.
Raiders.
Like-
Literally,
rot?
right. I mean, it was just nasty looking on the bottom.
So he might have gangrene.
Maybe something like that. That or gonosyphilitis. I don't know, but
Antonio Brown might have gonosyphilitis.
Ghana. What the hell is that?
oh, that's a hard combo.
It's a hard combo. It comes from Asia, I've heard.
Well, that's where
Just
penicillin
the
takes care of that.
The picture he showed of his feet were horrible looking.
Oh my God,
How
gross.
could you even imagine running on a field with what the heck was on the
So
bottom?
maybe Antonio Brown has gangrene of the big toe
Oh
and
my
can't
God.
play this year. How does that affect the Raiders?
I
Go
don't-
downhill.
you know what?
You
I'm
get what
over
you
this
said.
conversation.
I think Derek,
We're moving
I
on.
think it makes
Derek
Derek
Carr loses his house.
loses his house. The Raiders don't move to
That's
Vegas.
right.
They end up in like Glendale, Arizona. It's going to be just a snowball effect.
It's a shit
all,
show.
and
is
it's
what
all
I just
because
heard.
of you, Antonio
That's
Brown,
right.
and your
That's shit show.
gonosyphilitis and your big toe.
All right, Dancing with Stars. That's what happens.
The only others, okay, Josh Rosen. Anybody want to talk about Josh Rosen?
I personally don't have nothing to say. I
Nah, I'm
didn't
not a
like
fan.
him last year. I don't think he's going to do well with Miami this year.
Gotcha.
But I see,
Well, hey,
like you heard me on the other segments, I did say Miami's going to go far. You know what? They did pick up the quarterback Fitzpatrick. I like him, Mr. OG with all original gangsta.
Well, that was the they don't that was how I brought this up kind of because they're wondering.
I like him. And then the
Why
draft
would you
picks that they
think
picked up.
Fitzpatrick is the answer?
He's
when
not
he'd
the
been
answer to
He's not
for
the
any
answer,
time
but he's
ever
definitely
had.
the
he's
hole.
the answer to the first 2 games of the season. He'll put up 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then by week 4, he's just
Yeah.
getting destroyed. He interviews well though. Like his interviews are classic. He really has. He has a future in like acting or as a talk show host.
He's another Peyton Manning.
No,
Yeah, without the skill.
Let me sell
Minus
you.
all the
Let me sell you
skills.
insurance.
Minus all the skills. Yes,
You
he
mean-
could be on Nationwide. Nationwide will be on his side.
Nationwide is on
The
my
Hall of
side.
Fame won't be on his side though. All right, so Rosen, I think. Okay, let's just leave it at this. Do you think Rosen beats out Fitzpatrick? I think he does.
Yeah, I do.
He's
'cause
gotta
it's
beat out
not that hard of a
Fitzpatrick, right?
thing. Right. I mean, yeah.
I don't.
Tony says
Yeah.
no. I say yes.
You say
I
no.
don't.
Tony,
No,
you are outweighed.
I smell
man.
a wager. Okay, are we talking week 1?
Week 1 that he starts,
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick? Yeah. I got you for 20 bucks.
20 bar tab. We're on air.
I will be happy to buy you a Diet Coke, yes.
No, you're getting me a Spencerito. $20 bar tab right now.
All right.
Everyone in sports ball
All right.
land.
All right.
You heard
Josh
it. You heard
Rosen
it. You
will
heard it.
be the starter in week 1 for the Miami
Fitzpatrick.
Dolphins. $20 bar.
Either
you know
way,
he
they
hasn't cut
both
that
will
beard
have
yet.
losses by their name after week
Yes,
1.
it will be an L either way, but Rosen will start for what they gave up.
Everybody's going to be playing with the Fishies. I think the Fishies are going to do well this year.
And then I don't have a whole lot of current other NFL news. We're still, no teams have, other than the Broncos and the Falcons, have played actual preseason games. So the only other thing I have for the NFL, I mean, you guys can chime in if you got anything, was I wanted to do some what?
Talk about the little fight today with Emmanuel
Oh,
and
we got to get into
our
Broncos.
little young puppy.
We still got
but,
Broncos.
Yeah,
We'll break.
that's next segment.
We'll break.
That's next segment.
Okay, I was kind of wondering. I was going to bring this on from Mike, but we'll do it tonight. All-time great teams. Who would beat who?
Oh, geez.
And this is what. Okay, I'm going to start. You come up with your own all-time great NFL teams. Would the 1985 Chicago Bears beat the 1989 San Francisco 49ers?
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a great game?
Would
That'd
that
be-
not
that'd-
just
that'd be
be
an absolutely amazing game.
unbelievable?
Yeah, that'd be a great game.
Okay.
I was actually thinking that same team
Wow.
on the Bears playing any one of the years against the Patriots.
I would take the 85 Bears over any of the Patriots.
That's
Yeah, I would
my
too.
whole
Any of 'em.
exactly right.
But
But
I'm talking
I-
the 89 49ers.
I would- yeah.
That's the team that beat the Broncos 55-10 in the Super Bowl.
That
The
was
Broncos didn't
disappointing in New
show
Orleans.
up.
That's
not-
not the point, though. That
Ah,
team was
come on.
You're not stopping that
unbelievable.
team. I'm going San Fran against that one.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're an odds
I don't
maker-
care if we had the Orange Crush. I don't care if we had the Steel Curtain. You weren't stopping San Francisco.
Hey, Gary,
It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
birthday boy, who wins, the 85 Bears or the 89 49ers? Who wins that game? Who is right?
Yeah.
Okay, odds maker. What's the line and what's the over/under on that game?
I'll go the over and under on that one. I'll say, I have to go 42.
Bears.
go-
Do you think the Bears D would
I go
beat the
42
89
over and
49ers?
under between two teams, and then at the same time,
Oh,
I
Marky.
would say it would be 5.5.
Bears. What do you think the score would be? Like 17-14 or something?
Believe it or
I mean,
not,
that
no.
offense was unbelievable.
Yeah, you're not slowing down that team, man.
They threw donuts like throughout
you-
the playoffs. They weren't just beating people. They had Jerry Rice, John Taylor,
You got Rath
Montana.
coming on the back. That was a solid team.
I think
what's it?
if it was 85 Bears versus 89 49ers, I
Okay,
think it
you-
would be Bears minus 1.5.
The Bears.
The over/under.
The Bears.
The over/under would be 36.
You
I
guys
say
are
41.
silly, man.
Okay, you got to look
With
at the Bears.
49ers
You
team
got to look
doing
at the
that?
Bears
Oh,
offense. They
gosh.
got Willie Gold. They got Jim McMahon.
They were
got
the- they were the
sweetness.
most
They
beastie
got.
ever.
They even got William
Do you-
Refrigerator
Do you
Perry going
really
up the middle.
think Jim McMahon's that great of a quarterback?
He wasn't.
No,
bad.
he
Their
wasn't that
defense
great.
was
But
just
look at his
insane.
offensive wide receivers that he had.
Willie Galt.
Don't matter if
Walter
you get
Payton.
pressure on
He
the
had
guy, he's not gonna
sweetness.
get it there.
He had sweetness.
All right, here. All right, boys, I got one for you.
That
Best
front eight-
defense.
Hold on.
1985 versus the 2000.
We're still talking
2001.
this one.
That front eight, Richard Dent, William Perry, all of them. That defense would have just stopped the run, wore out that offensive
Yeah,
line.
Jerry Rice and John Taylor and Joe Montana.
You're not
And
wearing
You
that
can't
out.
throw 90 fucking balls a game.
You're not wearing
You
that
can't
team
do
out.
that. You can't do that. I would say they would stop the run.
They wear the Bears out on that one.
I think it would be Bears 20,
I say the Bears win.
Bears 20, 49ers
Bears
17. But
All
that
right.
offense was
All right.
unbelievable.
I just want
what
to.
do you
I just
think?
want it on
I-
record that I tried to
it's
get
a
him
double-digit
on the
win
freaking
for
microphone.
San Fran on that one, man.
I just want it
At
on
least,
record. I
at
tried to
least
get him on the
10-point win
record.
for San Fran.
San Fran, that offense was
At
just
least 10-point
unbelievable.
win.
Because, I mean, they did lose. When you go back to that 85 season, their only loss was to the second best offense that year, which was freaking, or not, no, it was the number one offense, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Marino
Yeah.
was the only team that smoked that defense
yeah.
the entire season. So,
And I would say Montana's better than Marino. So
Yeah,
if he
oh,
can
for
smoke
sure.
him, then why the hell
Joe
can't Montana?
Montana.
Tony, who's winning that game? Did you already say?
Honestly,
What would your score be?
I would say 34-17.
34. Dang.
wow.
So over
That's
and a
pretty
cover,
close.
way
Yep.
cover for the Niners.
I was thinking 31-17 49ers.
Wow.
But you know what? All right, we're going to go that way. Let's go the opposite. All right, guys. Best defense, 1985 Bears, Super Bowl 20 champions. You're going against the 2001-2002 Baltimore Ravens. Defense. Come on, we got to go there.
Dude,
that one, we got to
seriously?
go there.
They were-
You had two
You
great.
thought, like one was like.
I'm a homer, so you know what I'm going to say.
I already know what you're going to say.
Ravens all
I
the
think
way
that
on that.
Bears overall was a better defense, but I still think Ray Lewis is the greatest
Well, you had
linebacker
two Super Bowl
ever.
defensive players. You had his boy, number 52, Mr. Ray Lewis, and then you had number 95, Richard Dent, MVP. You can't.
They had Mike Singletary too.
Yeah, Mike Singletary. You got the fridge. You got the guy that went to WWF. You got.
Yeah.
They were stacked.
They were unbelievable. They weren't just beating teams, they were shutting people out every week.
And that's why that's not even a question. What he asks is not a question to me.
Okay, that would be the boringest Super Bowl ever to watch, and I think the Bears would win 3-0.
No,
3-0.
see, I'm a little different. I go 10-6. 10-6.
On a
don't know.
defensive
On a
touchdown.
defensive touchdown, exactly.
I was actually thinking 13-3, but all right. Yeah.
So I kind of like this segment. It's something we'll kind of bring back along with like our all-time great fantasy teams and stuff. It's just I think it's good topics, and it's stuff I literally have always wondered about my whole
Yeah,
life.
if you could always put
You
them
know,
together, man.
like if
yeah.
you put one of the old school Steelers teams, like say the 75 Steelers versus like the 97 Broncos or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll continue this on next week.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of the Broncos, why don't we bring that up in the next segment?
Yeah,
why,
for
why-
sure.
Why don't we wrap this up right about here? What do you
Okay,
guys think?
guys, Sports and Tacos, see you in 2 minutes.
Peace.
And here we go at 110. All right, here we go. We are coming back. We had a great segment talking about NFL. We talked about the NBA. We talked about a lot of things. This segment, though, we are going to bring on the Broncos, maybe a few other things, but hey, we're going to talk about the Broncos. So, Spencer, take it away, my friend.
All right, welcome back to Sports and Tacos, everybody out there in sports ball land. We talked some NFL, we talked some NBA, we talked a bunch of sports stuff
Putt golf.
in our previous segment.
I love the windmill hole.
We are the windmill hole. That is,
Hit the one in the middle.
it's a tough hole, but it's still Broncos season. Just got started basically. They played their
Pretty much,
first
yeah, pretty
preseason game last Thursday night, I think it was.
Yeah, it
Banjo
was.
got the first win,
It
baby.
was
His
Thursday.
first win. I don't care if it's a preseason
doesn't
game. It's a
count.
first
Yes.
win.
It does
It was
not
our first
count.
win. It was about as fun as watching paint dry, but there was football on television.
And that was very cool to see. Well, yeah. Even
Hall of
though
Fame-
if it was shitty football.
The Hall of Fame game is never that great, but
Hey,
whatever.
where did they
Yeah.
play that this year?
Canton, Ohio,
There you go.
just like every year.
It's
Hell
more,
with
it's more of a
Ohio.
nostalgia kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing,
nostalgia.
though. It's just here. The season's opening. You guys
Yeah.
get to play on the field, and yeah.
There's football
Blue.
players on a field throwing footballs and running footballs.
Inflated footballs too, actually.
Underinflated footballs.
It's pigskin,
Soft,
baby. It's
saggy
pigskin.
balls. Anyways, there's Broncos to be talked about. So we're going to talk. We're going to say words about the Broncos. Today I saw some headlines. The number one headline was apparently Emmanuel Sanders and Cortland Sutton got into a brawl on the field today.
I got to be honest, man.
They aren't saying why.
I got to be honest. I love seeing that between players that are on the same team because that means they are really wanting to make the team, and they are really, really, beyond really, wanting to show everybody what they're made of.
True.
I think it shows fire in the team, man.
It
I
shows
agree with you
fire,
right
and it
there,
happens
you
a
know,
lot
there's that.
in preseason. Stuff like that happens. But what I think is happening, I guess I have no clue why. Nobody really knows why. I'm wondering if Emmanuel isn't a tad bit scared that Cortland is
Taking over.
about to take his job.
I disagree. You know why? Because of the fact one's catching balls, one's dropping balls.
I get that.
The
but
puppy's dropping balls and the veteran's catching balls.
Well, one of them wasn't even playing part of the year last year because
No.
he tore up his Achilles.
yeah, and you know what? He's going to be awesome. He's the bionic man.
that remains to be seen. He
Well, we're
is
gonna
human.
find out.
And, after an Achilles, if he comes back and he's the old Emmanuel Sanders, that would be awesome. That would be great for our
I
offense.
like your thoughts, what you're saying about maybe he's got a little chip on his shoulder with Cortland right now.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. He's trying to keep because in his mind, Cortland's the rookie from last year. He's trying to keep him in his place. This is still my
This is
job
my
to
field.
lose.
I'm number one.
But
Wow.
maybe that's why that happened. I have no idea why. It's
But yeah, I like it. I think it
Well,
shows
then
some
you're
spark.
looking back
even
in
if that is-
the early 19s where you're going to go
19s?
1900s, baby. I'm talking about the Yankees where Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth, right field was Babe, and he always called it as his.
That's
and
true.
you're going to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about a battle. Look at that home run series. You add both those up,
Wait.
it's sincere.
It's just
man.
egos.
Hold
It's
on.
egos.
I get it, it's egos, but we're still talking NFL. So.
no, I know.
Yeah,
I
but
kinda get it.
you're talking about
You could
people
be
that
anything.
are meshing, and when they're meshing, it's like
It's a battle for top dog
Yes.
at a certain position.
who
I
wants to
think
be
it's
the best.
Emmanuel trying to reclaim his spot.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like he
Emmanuel.
lost it last year.
Yeah, and so he's just trying to reestablish his dominance, and hopefully he does. I'm not gonna lie.
Number
Hopefully he
10's going to
does.
be fine. Number 10's going to be fine.
I hope so.
They need them both, so they
Hey,
need
yes.
to get along.
How about
Can't
that
we
arm
just
on Drew
all
Lock,
get
man?
along?
Yeah, Drew.
How about that inaccuracy about Drew Lock?
Well, there's that. But he looks like he has a
He
gun, man.
tosses a sweet ball. He obviously he'd only had 5 or 6 days of practice before that game. He needs to work on his touch. He's a total rookie.
You can't blame that, man. He's had practice throwing the ball since he was probably like 8 years old.
True.
So you can't blame.
He
not being in
did
his depth. You
make
can't
some
do that.
good plays though.
Look at the
that
numbers.
I did.
Look at
the
the
numbers
numbers.
weren't good.
Oh, not down on the man. First game
No,
in
no,
an
no,
NFL
no, no.
uniform. That's,
Throw
yeah.
in
Yeah.
the numbers.
Oh,
right in
look.
the chest. Throw in the numbers, son.
Well, you got on a post route though. It's time you got to drop that ball. But one thing that is nice, he was overthrowing the receivers. He was not underthrowing.
That's good. You
the
don't get
receivers.
intercepted that way. So,
Well, it just shows the guy does have a cannon. They do compare him to Jay Cutler.
I overthrew the passer.
I like the comparison to Jay Cutler, at least how he throws the ball. The
Okay.
only thing that I don't like is hopefully he has Jay Cutler's arm and not Jay Cutler's ego.
Well, I'm just curious, is he going to end up on the sideline in a freaking post game sitting there on a freaking treadmill?
I hope not. That's what I'm getting at. I hope he doesn't have a
Bicycle.
Cutler mentality because he does toss the rock like Cutler does. He's got a sweet arm. And there's a reason why, he was a projected first-round pick that fell to the second round. He throws a nice ball, but he is rough, very rough.
Hey, shotgun, I got to give you that too. I agree with you at 100%, but you got to give it to Hogan. Hogan looked
Hogan
like
did.
an NFL player.
He did.
And you know what? The only catch was it is third string, fourth string going head to head.
Yeah.
They're not battling against
The
the big
starters.
boys.
No.
You're not having Mack come at you. You're not having Houston come at you. Definitely, you're not having
Did you get
Von
to
Miller
watch any of
coming
that
at
game?
you.
I only got to watch what we got done with the golf course,
Right.
probably about like third quarter, fourth quarter, something like
Gotcha.
that. Yeah.
So there's that about Drew Lock. He throws a nice ball, but he's rough. The Broncos picked up a guy from the Lions.
Yeah.
Theodore Reddick.
Yeah,
Riddick,
Theo
yeah,
Riddick.
yeah.
And it sounds
I
like,
like him.
since they've got him, he's been a real spark plug at practice. A lot of people are comparing that pickup to like a Darren Sproles type player.
Yeah.
And it sounds like out at practice, the guy's just lighting it up. Like the second he comes on the field, the offense starts clicking.
That's a good sign.
It
and
could
I
be
like
a great
that.
pickup.
I mean, I liked Theo when he was with Detroit. He had
Yeah.
some decent years there coming out of the backfield, catching balls, this
Yeah,
and that.
and basically what they were, What I'd heard was that they were wanting to get Philip Lindsay more involved in the passing game this year, but with Theo Reddick, that's not going to happen.
No,
See,
he'll
but
be
you
like,
got to understand this too. Both Lindsey and Reddick both do the same thing. They run and they can catch. But at the same time, you're looking at
It's one.
Yeah, that's number one.
four.
It's one.
4 running backs. You got Booker. Now you got our boy Reddick. And we got Phillip. And guess what? We got San Diego boy.
I don't know
Who's that?
Uh,
I don't know. But I guess the point is on third down,
I don't know
when
who-
it's
yeah.
when it's 3rd and 8, I have a feeling Philip Lindsay's coming out of the game and Reddick's coming
Yeah,
in.
he'll
again.
definitely be the third
He'll
down
definitely
back.
be
I would
the
assume,
running
yeah.
back coming out of the backfield on a known passing play.
see, but Flacco,
Which is great, actually.
He always throws in the infield and tight ends.
You look at take out was Alvin Kamara from the
Yeah,
Saints. If
yeah.
you have a guy that's like a Darren Sproles, Kamara type player, God, they're super weapons.
Yeah, Danny
Especially-
Wood had another one. the same way,
Especially
kind of
for a
thing.
guy
I mean, yeah,
like
those-
Flacco, who
Plus-
when you're checking down and you have a speedy running back coming out, everybody's covered
Yep.
that can catch
Just
the football.
dump it out and go and
Those
make
are the
somebody
kind.
miss.
Those are the
Yeah.
kind of guys that keep drives going.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm kind of excited about.
I like Riddick being
Theo
on
Riddick.
Broncos team. I do. Yeah, I'm with him on that.
And I guess the only other thing I got in on Broncos talk for tonight is Champ Bailey and Pat Bowlen getting into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
It was pretty awesome.
Congratulations to both, definitely.
Obviously, Pat Bowlen, well deserved. The bottom line for me about Pat Bowlen was the Broncos were very lucky because they had one of those rare owners in sports who cared more about winning than he did about making a profit, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. He
You
made
know
it,
what? I completely agree with that. 100%.
and that's a rare thing.
He was an owner's player, a player's owner.
An owner's player.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
a
an
player's
owner's
owner.
player.
We know what you meant, Tony. That's another Tonyism. But
By the
yeah,
way,
yeah.
the 4th running
Yeah.
the running back I was talking about was Royce Freeman.
Yeah,
Oh, Royce. Yeah, okay.
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
got
What the hell
4
did
of
he
them.
have to do with San Diego, though?
That's where he
Oh,
went
he
to
went
school.
to school. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chargers. when
Yeah,
you said
I
it.
was
My
like-
bad.
we drafted him.
San Diego Chargers into the Los Angeles Chargers now.
But yeah,
man.
props to obviously Pat Bowlen. Yeah,
You know, that actually brings up a really good question. Besides him and maybe Jerry Jones, who were the guys that really cared about their team and didn't care about the money? Al
not
Davis,
many.
Al Davis
Yeah.
cared about the money and could care less about the team.
there's not many. Not in all of pro sports. When you buy a team,
Right.
when you're
Right.
that wealthy,
Yeah.
you're looking for a return on your
Yeah, you
investment.
want to make money.
Exactly.
Pat Bowlen wanted Super Bowls.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe Robert Kraft.
I
Ha.
don't think
When
so.
he's
Go back to
when he's-
Florida,
when he's
Robert.
when he's
Go
not-
back to
when
Florida.
He's not busy at the
Happy ending.
At the
the
racetrack.
happy ending massage parlor.
Right.
Ha.
You need a
I was
massage,
trying to-
Robert?
On Sunset.
But yeah, so props to Pat Bowlen and mad props to Champ Bailey. Champ Bailey, in my opinion, is probably one of the top 3, for me, all-time cornerbacks.
Yeah, I can
In
see
my,
that.
in my
man,
eyes,
for
he's
sure.
one of the top 5 for myself. It's unfortunate that that man never got a ring on his finger
It is.
because of the fact that he's one of the greatest. After he left Redskins, and it was the best trade ever, Portis for Bailey. Come on,
That was awesome.
come on, you got to
Got
give
the
it
better
to him.
end on that one there, definitely.
Well,
Um,
he
that's-
just made us better. And you know what happened to Portis? That little WWF belt that he had. Did he do anything anywhere else?
He had
No.
a couple decent years with the Skins, but they didn't go anywhere. But
It's the Redskins.
for me, Champ Bailey was, one of the greatest combinations for a cornerback of covering wide receivers like a glove, but that guy also tackled like a linebacker.
He was not afraid to come up
He
and hit
was
them.
not,
not
because
at all.
if you
Yeah,
like
I
you
agree with
say,
you.
bring up like a Deion Sanders.
Right.
Obviously, Deion had a lot of interceptions and he covered like a madman. But when it came time to tackle somebody, he was like, "Oh, that's not my job. I'm Deion."
Olay.
Champ came in and just will crush a 250-pound running back and drop him right where he's at.
Right.
That was what, to me, was so
That's
unbelievable
a
about
rarity.
Champ Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't that big of a guy.
He hit like
So-
Atwater, Steve Atwater.
Yeah.
Denver
Oh
Broncos,
my gosh, I
safety.
love Steve Atwater, man.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
I've got
I
a
can see
throwback
it in a
jersey
couple
for
years.
Steve Atwater.
What'd you
Love
think
it.
about? You got any thoughts on Bailey, Bama?
The only thing I kind of heard that kind of crappy on Washington's standpoint was Champ said this, that the Washington Redskins didn't even contact him and give him congratulations until the week of the Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah, that is.
And they actually did I saw a full page ad out yesterday or today saying congratulations, but before that, nothing at all. It's like they were so butthurt from losing him, they didn't want to acknowledge the fact that he went on and had a really good career somewhere else.
You know, and
He's kind of crappy.
I bet you that can be directly attributed to Dan Snyder, who would be the opposite of a Pat Bowlen type owner. That guy
I don't know
cares-
that I would agree with that, but I get where you're going.
He seems like that kind of guy. You know?
Yeah, I can see where you go with that. Hey, dude, you got a note here about Kareem Jackson. What was your thought on that?
Kareem Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, anyways, it basically just goes to the Broncos' defense. The defense is still looking good. Kareem Jackson.
Kareem's showing up.
Kareem Jackson is starting to look like a hell of a pickup.
Yeah.
But shotgun, we need inside linebackers.
We do need inside
Oh,
linebackers.
absolutely.
Yeah, but be happy what you got's got. It's working.
Bama, you're right there. Absolutely right there. So the first quarter for me was amazing to watch that backside play, man. Those guys were coming up. They were making plays. It was a lot of fun to watch. The offense still sucks.
I don't take anything from that game because there was no starters in that
Yeah.
game.
Oh no, but that's where I'm coming though. Is if our starters are better than our backup, we've got a team.
Yeah.
this year.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where I'm going with that.
Where with making Chris Harris happy, and
Oh,
if
yeah.
Kareem Jackson is a stud like he's looking like in training camp, the backfield is looking good. Obviously our line's going to be good. And again, it just comes back to, like on previous segments, our inside linebackers and stopping the run, I think, are going to be our weakness this season. But I'm glad that Kareem Jackson's looking good. We're getting closer to, not further away from, the old no-fly zone defense, I think.
They helped him out a
Right.
little bit this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helped yourself out for sure.
So
Okay.
basically,
Broncos are a team that's good surprise people this year, man.
All right,
Including,
so-
okay, gentlemen, you got to understand, including in our division, the AFC West, look how many wide receivers, look how many tight ends, look how many running backs that we have to face this year where they catch, they run. Oh my gosh, it's sick. So we need that talent to help us out.
yeah, it's gonna. God, yeah, we're definitely gonna need it. That's for sure.
And that's where inside linebackers we do need.
Yeah.
Because, you're going against
Jo-
the Raiders. You're going against KC. You're going against San Diego.
yeah.
All right, so I got a question for you.
Sure.
Where are your prop bets this year on the Broncos only? Just the Broncos.
You know,
I know. I'm throwing a curveball in here,
no,
and
I get it. Oh boy.
I know, dude. That's a tough one.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. As far as prop bets go this year on the Broncos, I didn't make many because they're such an unknown. I think the over/under
agree.
for their wins is 8, and if I had to throw $1,000 on their over/under win total being 8, I'd bet over.
Oh, I would bet over for sure.
But no,
We're 10
now
and 6,
again,
guys.
things
10
have
and 6.
Things have changed.
Oh wait,
I
wait,
was on
wait.
the 10 and 6
Wait.
train for a little while.
Okay.
But the Tyreek Hill thing, I think, has changed the division a lot. That was basing it on Tyreek Hill not playing football this year.
Okay.
The Chiefs now, in my opinion, are by far the team to beat in the division and maybe in the AFC.
What about the
For me.
Raiders, dude? They look great on paper, and
They always
they're
look,
looking
in
good.
in just my opinion, they always look great on paper. At least they're still the Raiders. Until they prove it, then I'll be a believer in the Raiders.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
But so basically,
Okay.
I hate to. We went over the schedule. I would bet over, but not much over. 8 wins, 9 wins. I think.
I mean, well, it kind of.
Oh God, I don't know. They're just too much of an unknown. Our offense could be
So you're
amazing.
You're thinking 9
Our
and
offense
7? Is that where you are, or are you?
I'm thinking 8 and 8. With Tyreek Hill coming back, I went back to 8 and 8.
So we're a 500 team, is what you're saying?
I'm going 10 and 6. I see AFC West we win at least one game each time.
Okay.
And I see Monday Night Football being the first win.
Okay, Tony, you and me, right here, right now, I will give you a $20 bar tab if you go 10-6. I'm saying 9-7.
I like 10-6 there still, brother.
All right, so is that a bet?
$20 bar tab.
Okay, they win 10 games, I got you $20. They
That'd be
win
great.
9 games or less, I got.
I hope
I
you're
got
both
$20.
right. I hope you're both right, but
Me too.
in that division, it'd be different if we were playing in, like the AFC East or something.
All right, Bama, I know you're from the South, but where are you going with our Broncos, man?
Like I said, I think they've got, they're up in the air. It could go either way, but I would like the chances of them going over 500 as far as win total goes.
Okay.
I think they got a lot of talent, man. They got a lot of talent and the coaching staff that should be able to whip them into some shape and get some games out
He's
there.
old school.
I like the direction they're going, and I really think they can surprise people, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
but
He's not
I
on the
do
box.
have-
He's on the field
I do.
now.
I think again, that's why I kind of shied away from Broncos props bets this year.
Right.
But there was a lot of other great props bets, and give me your guys' opinion on them. The first one is Baker Mayfield having the most passing yards in the NFL this season at 12-1. You guys like it or
I'm
not?
taking the under on that. Nope.
Nope, not betting that.
Nope. Not betting that.
I'll take the under, but at the same time, because
That's
come
two.
on,
Well, it's not really an over or under. It's basically a 12-1 that he throws for
Get
the
it or you
most
don't.
yards in the NFL
Yeah.
this year.
I'm saying
12-1. Would
I'm
you
saying-
bet that? Bet
no.
or no bet? Is the
That's
point.
no bet. That's no bet for
No
me.
bet.
I'm going no bet.
Okay, but on that bet, I would hedge that bet. Patrick Mahomes 3.5-1 most passing yards in the NFL. I'm betting that all day. With Tyreek Hill coming back,
If I had to hedge the bet, yes.
absolutely.
If there was no hedge on that, that'd be a tough one.
3.5, still
yeah.
3.5-1. I mean, he
Yeah.
could throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns this year.
Well, I could.
If
well,
last year is any indication.
I don't see him setting
they
a record.
already
but
know
yeah.
who he is. They've watched the films.
You think
I think last year was his showtime, but guess what? Now teams are going to be playing around that.
Yeah.
They've
He's
seen the
amazing,
films.
though.
He's amazing. Don't
So
get me wrong.
basically, again, that would
Right
be my
and
hedge
left.
for
Right
Baker
and left.
Mayfield.
Okay.
Super Bowl odds to win the Super Bowl. I liked the Bears were 8-1. I think Bears are a sleeper Super Bowl team.
They could be. They could be.
I think their defense, and then what's his? I just. What do you think? Would you bet the Bears 8-1?
Yeah, I'd put 20, 30 bucks on it. Why not? Yeah.
About you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy?
All right. We're talking about this. All right, guys. We're talking about this. NFC.
I mean, yeah.
Give me your top four.
Top four.
NFC. Top 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs and go long. Gosh, there's a couple of them out there.
Cowboys, Bears, possibly Eagles.
I don't see the Eagles doing it.
I think this.
I like the Saints.
Yeah, I'd throw the Saints.
I like the
Saints.
Bears. Gosh darn it. You know.
I don't know, but
It's a
again,
tough one.
they kind of leads into one of my other. The Cowboys 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. I like
No.
the Cowboys
Well,
10-1
no.
to win.
If
Unless-
they get
No.
Zeke
unless-
back, that's a good.
yeah.
This is based on
If they
everybody.
get Zeke back, yes.
This is based
but,
on everybody being there. Another good one.
but I'm gonna say straight up, I'm not taking that bet.
You're not taking
No.
bet on Cowboys?
No.
Bet or no bet Cowboys?
No.
Bet or no bet Cowboys? 10-1.
Go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, no, win the Super Bowl.
Win? No.
Okay,
I'll take the Bears
Another
over
one
that.
I liked was the Colts at 8-1 to win the Super Bowl.
That's better than Dallas
They-
for
I
sure.
mean,
I disagree.
You
I
think
think Dallas has a better shot at the Super Bowl than
You think so?
than Indianapolis.
Including
based
with Luck
on
getting
on
hurt.
paper today, yeah, I agree with you. But based
Including
on
with
last
Luck
year,
getting
no.
hurt.
Not at all.
Luck's apparently he's not hurt. I read.
Yeah, but no, they're staying.
Their
They're still
quarterback
saying
is
his
better
calf.
than the
They're
Cowboys.
still saying his calf is sore and
He's a
all that,
calf.
but he's playable. But he's at slow times.
Right. No, I mean I kind of thought this was amazing to me. The Colts were 8-1 to win the Super Bowl. So were the Chiefs. I figured the Chiefs would be much more favored than
Did
the
this come out
Colts.
before Tyreek Hill came back or afterwards?
This was as of last Monday.
Okay,
when we were
so he
sitting at
was on
Rome.
there then,
So
yeah.
I like the Chiefs at 8-1 to win the Super Bowl. You guys you betting that or no bet?
I would bet that, yeah.
Chiefs to win the
Yeah.
Super Bowl, Jimmy. Bet or no bet?
That's a bet.
That's a bet.
Yeah, okay. That was kind of a hedge. Another one I liked. Le'Veon Bell win with the most rushing yards. He would win the rushing title. And the reason I liked that, it was 13-1. I think he's going to get the ball a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
He's going
like
to get
that?
the ball
I
a
like that
lot.
bet.
I like what
would take
Bama
that.
told me the other day. He goes,
And he had last
Bell.
year off.
Yeah.
He's going to have fresh legs.
I liked what Bama told me the other day. He goes, Bell stood up and he was talking to the press, and he goes, for all those folks in Fantasyland that took me, I am sorry about this. He actually apologized. You know, you have a star apologizing, but at the same time, he
There's
goes,
three.
pick me. I will win you a championship.
Yeah,
So
he's-
you know
yeah,
what?
true.
He's on.
I'd take it.
He's on my. He's on my
Somebody-
brink.
Somebody told me he might touch the ball 400 times this year.
No, I don't see that.
They don't have anybody else.
No, I get it, but not 400 times.
13, but at 13-1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
touched
do you
it
see
that
their
much with Pittsburgh.
offensive line? Are you
I
I
serious?
get it, but
They stacked
Bet or
up
no
on their
bet, 13 to
offensive
1,
line
Jimmy.
in the draft.
13-1.
You're getting pretty good odds on
You know
that.
what?
And he had last year off. He's going to have fresh legs.
I throw 25 on that.
Okay. The other one I liked was Philip Lindsay, 20-1 to win the rushing title.
I actually think
No
he's
bet.
not going to do that.
No
but
bet.
but at 20-1, to me,
No.
that's worth a little something.
Well, it is. However,
Is that passing and catching?
No, it's just rushing.
just
No,
rushing?
I'm cool with that because last year he got what
But
a little
in
bit
this-
over 1,000
in
yards.
this NFL, I mean, he didn't do anything the last 3 games, and he still ended up with like 1,100 yards. 14 to 1,500 yards could win a rushing title, and at 20-1, that's worth $20.
Not with what?
Yeah,
Not-
Deagle knows.
I'll be honest with you. Not
No
with
bet.
I don't see
No
it
bet.
happening.
Not
no.
not,
Oh, you're
not
all
what
crazy,
we got
and
going
when it
on.
happens,
I
I'm
I
gonna make a
disagree.
brain in your faces.
Oh, wait. So you're saying you're taking that bet?
Oh yeah, for sure. 20-1
All right.
at 20-1.
All right. So
Why not?
You're going
Why
to throw
not?
$5 out there and make 100.
But again, I like to hedge my bets.
All right.
Saquon Barkley was the favorite at 4.5-1 to win the rushing title.
He's not going to do the same thing like he did last year.
No,
I agree with Tony.
I'm betting that. I'm taking
I
it.
would bet Le'Veon.
I-
I would bet
Saquon.
Saquon. Yeah.
Saquon.
I'm not taking that bet.
I'm not taking it.
Okay, and we've talked about this before, and I actually still like it. That's Antonio Brown to lead the league in receiving yards, and I like it because it's 15-1.
Yeah, I would definitely take that.
I like
with,
that one.
Yeah.
As many opportunities as he's going to get
15
yards
to
this year
1,
with a
dude?
quarterback
Yeah.
that likes to throw.
Like
yeah.
I
I-
figured that would be like 4-1.
As
Who else does the Raiders have for
don't
wide
have, like,
receivers?
nobody.
As much as I realize that Vegas knows what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
15-1 does not seem right. That
Doesn't
seems
seem-
way high.
And that leads into what I think is the craziest bet. And I'm not gonna lie, like this is one that it's unlikely it happens, but there's some reasoning behind it. Jarvis Landry for the Cleveland Browns, most
geez.
receiving yards in the NFL,
Bless
Okay.
him. Bless him.
75-1.
You know what?
And you
dude?
might be thinking that's nuts. But
I-
Odell Beckham is going to be double covered all season.
Okay, so
And
any-
Jarvis Landry is just as much of a talent as Odell Beckham.
Yes, he is.
Bama gets my point on this. I don't care if you're 50-1 or more. I'm dropping $20 on it
Oh,
all day long.
75-1.
Wait,
$100
right.
bucks makes you 7,500 if it hits.
That's my whole point.
Yep, that's-
I'm dropping
that's well
some
worth
bank
the
on
risk.
that just for
Yeah.
the. If
Bless him. Bless him.
Yes,
if
bless
it,
him.
If it comes through, dude, you're making money.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
It's
Anybody who is 50-1 or more, I'm betting on it just because.
Well, especially a big name like Landry. I mean, you know, he
Hell yeah,
gets
dude.
his anyway.
Yeah, but
Hell
you also
He was a stud.
Bama just,
He was like a lot of people didn't know a lot about him because he was down in Miami. He
Yep.
was like hidden with the Dolphins, but dude is a stud.
He is.
But you, okay,
All right.
okay, I understand what you boys are talking about. But come 8th week, guess who comes back?
That doesn't affect them.
Yeah,
Oh, I
receivers.
think that's going to affect it huge
It doesn't
Wide
affect
receivers?
him. No.
with the running back.
But they're wide
We're
receivers.
talking
though.
wide receivers. Though.
Exactly. They're not going to get past too much because now they're going to be running the ball more.
No,
they
not
got
at all.
they got 3 running backs.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, right now 2.
You're
All right.
saying they're going to run the ball more?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's 75-1. You betting it or no bet?
I'd bet it. Yeah.
I would bet it
It's
too.
75-1.
I would bet it
I've
too.
already said what I'm doing. If
Right,
it's over
right.
50 to 1,
I'll
I'll bet
throw
it.
$2
And
in a chip.
Again, I would hedge these long shots. Julio Jones is I think he's the favorite at 6-1.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he doesn't play all preseason. That's the catch because he's
He
injured.
never
prone.
plays preseason, Tony.
Yeah,
He didn't
he's
play
a-
last
he's a
year either.
super stud. So at 6-1, I'm thinking Julio Jones I'm betting Julio Jones because
Okay.
they would cover everything else if it hits. Betting
Oh, yeah, I'm taking Julio.
Julio.
I like Julio.
And I
Julio!
guess, honestly, after looking at that photo of Brown's feet, I don't know if I would take him.
And I kind
on
of
a
I
bet
double
right
hedged
now.
the wide receivers, most receiving yards, because Michael Thomas was 8-1.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
You
just
got the
with the
boy from
Saints.
New Orleans
Yeah.
Saints that, oh, man, he's great, and he just signed. And you know what? But there's a catch. There's a catch. The last time we had two big signings, guess what happened? They both...
Well,
You're talking about Dallas boy. You're talking about Denver boy.
yeah.
Where are they at now?
Yeah.
Where are they at now?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Where are they at now?
But, just based on, like,
Hey,
Antonio
did-
Brown, Jarvis Landry,
Did
both.
Tony just make a good point?
No.
So that's
Nobody
one for
knows what
me.
he's talking about. I don't know what boys he's talking about necessarily. But
Exactly.
the,
Are you serious?
which, I don't know.
Thomas and Bryant
Uh,
I don't know. I'm
from
not,
Dallas. Yeah. And then
Maybe.
and Thomas
Maybe.
from
Anyways, I think
Denver.
these are decent prop bets for
Yes.
as long shots, middle of the road shots, and some hedging some favorites. To where
Yeah.
you're
They're
getting
still
your
not in
money
the
back
league.
and you have the possibility to make a bunch of money if Antonio Brown or Jarvis Landry hits. So those are my favorite prop bets that I saw
Yeah,
for
you
the
got to play
NFL
some base.
season to
You
come.
got to play some bets right. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
So and that's basically all I got for NFL for tonight. Anybody else got anything?
Go cheerleaders.
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 Even though, I'm not a Cowboy fan, I'm going to be interested in watching the Dallas Cheerleaders show. I'm down on that.
Cool. Let's,
We should have a Broncos.
There we go,
cheerleaders.
boys.
wrap up this NFL segment.
We'll be back in a minute. Okay. Well, if you haven't figured it out by now, I love talking Broncos ball. Then we brought up Mr. David Redmond, who still likes the Raiders, and we still don't know why. Hey, but you know what? I don't really care. Oh, and that's the first time I get to say that. But you know what? And that's number 2. Hey, guys, in all seriousness, we're going to be talking about some old school football and bringing up a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Spencer, why don't you go ahead and take it away, my friend?
Gotcha. Welcome back to Sports and Tacos, live at the Platte River Bar and Grill. Sports and Tacos.
Hey, we are
Sports
bringing in
and
some
tacos.
tacos. Look at this.
It's
Snap.
a tater
Oh,
day.
tater tots and tacos.
Look at this guy
Dude.
bringing it in.
Frankie D, you are the
Hey, you know what?
You rock, D.
Speaking of that,
I love you, Squiggy.
let's give a shout out to the Platte River Bar and Grill for hosting us every
Yes.
single week for the last few
Shout
weeks.
out to the Platte.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah, that's right. Go Broncos.
Hot,
Absolutely.
hot, hot, hot.
There we go.
And
Hot.
that's a Cowboy fan saying "Go Broncos"
I don't know,
over
but
there.
he's been-
I'm not.
There you go.
Oh wait, it's his birthday.
His birthday. I think
He's had too
I think
much
he's been
to
drinking
drink.
a
All
little
right.
bit.
Hey, guys,
Anyways.
in all seriousness, come on down to the Platte River Bar and Grill. We're down here every single Monday night, about 7 p.m. Come on down, watch us make a recording, and, hey, we also have poker playing on Monday nights as well. So
It's basically the greatest patio in Denver.
it is the biggest deck in probably Denver. I would not discount that at all.
No, I've never seen anyone
So
like it.
again, thank you to the Platte River
We're
Bar
all
and Grill
about big decks.
for hosting us. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Frankie. Appreciate that.
All right, we got David Redmond on. He's one of our special guests here and there.
Go Broncos.
And he is a Raiders fan, which normally, I'm a lifelong Broncos fan. And the Broncos
Sorry.
are the greatest team in the history of the world. They are arch rivals, but we have plenty of time coming into this NFL season to argue Broncos Raiders. I want to talk tonight. I want to go a little more in depth, and because he was also a CU Buffalo, and he was a very underrated player in the NFL. I want to talk about Cliff Branch dying at age 71, because you have to be a very old school football fan to know just how badass Cliff Branch was. And I think I only know this because I've been collecting sports cards and memorabilia my entire life, and that's when I realized just how badass Cliff Branch was, and especially when you talk to other players who had to play against him. Like, he was the fastest, most dangerous wide. Like, they would talk about wide receivers that were good, but literally no one wanted to play against Cliff Branch.
No way.
So
No way.
David knows a lot about it, and I wanted to get his thoughts on it because he's an old school OG Raiders fan.
Hey, David, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How many Super Bowls has Cliff Branch played in?
3.
Oh, nice. How about Pro Bowls?
I'm not sure about the Pro Bowls, but I think it's 9, maybe 10.
How about 4?
Is it only 4?
Well, it's only 4, but that was back in the day.
And
dude.
I'll bet you that those were the 4 years he played in the Super Bowl.
Yes, actually, yes.
Is that played in?
Well,
or was
3 of the 4 years anyway.
3 of
He
the 4
only
years, yes. You're correct.
played in 3 Super Bowls. He won all 3.
Right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Absolutely correct.
There you go.
One of the why he's not in the Hall of Fame, and I know I'm a Raiders fan, but why he is not in the Hall of Fame, I don't understand.
Next year, brother.
Oh yeah, because he passed away, just like they did to my boy Kenny Stabler. Passed away. Oh well, let's put him in the Hall now.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either, because
Which is
I mean,
It's basically just a popularity contest. They're not looking at. They can't be looking at stats.
name me another wide receiver besides Jerry Rice that has more than 3 Super Bowl wins in his pocket.
I don't even know if.
Is this where the Jeopardy song comes in?
That's a good answer,
He's got
because
3
there are
rings.
none. He's got 3 rings. He was there for all of them. Second year in the league is in '76 when they won the Super Bowl against Minnesota. Willie Brown ran the touchdown back. 83 and 85.
Yeah,
Marcus Allen, Howie Long.
John Stallworth, maybe? Maybe not, though.
No.
Lynn Swann and John Stallworth don't got 3?
They have more than, yeah, they probably do, but
I don't know, though, for a fact, anyways. But because I don't know who was around for the '79, but Cliff Branch.
compare numbers
Here's the thing.
with Cliff Branch,
It has
John
nothing to do with,
Stallworth, and
Lynn Swann.
Lynn Swann.
it has nothing to do with just Super Bowl. It has everything to do
No.
with the overall stats.
Doesn't.
You know, the guy was crazy when it came to playing football.
Well, why does his overall stats not get us in?
Well, they should.
Come on.
I mean, when you compare Cliff Branch's
He
stats,
should be in the Hall.
When you compare Cliff Branch to Lynn Swann, there's no reason he shouldn't be in the
All right, so that's
Exactly
actually a
right.
question.
Exactly
Is
right.
Is that an East Coast West Coast thing? I mean, a lot of the East Coast guys were in forever, and only lately have had anything west of the Cheeseheads. Anything west of that has been a long time coming, and they're finally starting to be seen.
Yeah, we don't really.
Well,
it's kind of I don't know why.
Is Michael Irvin by any chance in?
Yeah, Irvin's in.
Irvin's in?
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, Michael Irvin's in. Cliff Branch is not.
Well,
I mean,
That's a damn shame.
and
Because that was a Denver
you know,
heat. Denver hated Branch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Hated
He was a Denver killer.
absolutely. Yeah, he killed
He's
him.
the one that,
Killed him.
guess what, 3rd and 10? He gets
Uh-oh.
3rd and 10 and then some, or even a touchdown. We hated Branch. But you know what? He's a hell of a player.
He is.
Yeah, and should be in the Hall. He's not. There you go. He died. Yeah, he'll be in there next year because he died.
Yeah, and that's one thing I don't
That's
understand.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot.
Very unfortunate.
You know.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
why do you have to? Why does he got to die before they put him in the Hall of Fame?
you know, I'm a Raiders fan at heart, but I'll go back to the same question. Why is Randy Gradishar not in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. No.
He's a Bronco. Yeah,
That pisses me off, by the way. Pisses me off to no end.
And Carl Mecklenburg.
I
Steve
hated
Atwater.
that guy. I
Rod
hated
I
that
can
guy.
see Steve Atwater going in the next couple years.
Rod Smith. Okay, well, if we're talking about Cliff Branch and Lynn Swann, Rod Smith's numbers dominate both of those guys.
Yep.
You've never even heard him mentioned
Absolutely.
in
But-
the Hall of Fame.
But you're looking at a time when the game changed. It
I
didn't
guess.
go so much to passing.
Yeah. Cliff Branch
As
played
it-
football
it
when
was-
he was still a...
It was a running game. Come on.
Here's
It was
the
a
thing,
running
exactly.
game.
Well,
Come on.
back when he was-
Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson,
Exactly.
I agree with both of those.
Ed Banachek.
Yeah.
Come
but
on.
now you look at Rod Smith, undrafted. Hello. He had to walk onto the team. He had to work his
Yeah.
way onto the team from playing on the what do they call it, training squad, whatever
Yeah,
they call that.
yeah.
Yeah. The guy was crazy. So you see both of those guys, they should be in already, and they're not. I don't get it.
And you know, I think the only reason that Lynn Swann is in and Cliff Branch isn't, this is where it goes back to a popularity contest. Cliff Branch didn't have that one extremely amazing, memorable play like where Lynn Swann tipped the ball in that Super Bowl and ran it in for a touchdown. He just came out and did his job
Against the Cowboys.
every day, in and out. You know,
Against the
he
Cowboys.
Yeah. And if it wasn't,
wasn't flashy.
if it wasn't for the immaculate reception, which was, I'm not going to say it. Anyway, if it wasn't for the immaculate reception, which was in complete Raider Nation, it would have been a whole different story.
No, it would have. What? Yeah.
Pittsburgh wouldn't have been in the Super Bowl that year. The Raiders would have been.
Yeah.
Look back in the 70s when Pittsburgh went to the Super Bowls and won their 4 Super Bowls. Who'd they beat to get there?
Yeah, it was the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. It's just, again, Cliff Branch was one of the best wide receivers of his era, and he's not in the Hall
Absolutely.
of Fame.
He'll be next
And
year.
it's a
just
shame.
unfortunate that he probably will get in after
Very
he's
unfortunate.
gone, after he's passed
Then,
away,
yeah.
you know, so.
And that's kind of what.
It's just jacked up. I don't get the, there's a lot of factors. East Coast, West Coast, popularity, whatever. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Rod Smith needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And whatever. The Hall of Fame is jacked up. Moving on.
I agree. I
But
agree.
He'll get in.
Totally.
He'll get in. I got some old classic football questions for you, David.
Uh-oh.
Earlier tonight, we were talking about the who do you think would win between the 85 Bears and the 1989 49ers? What do you think the line would be in Vegas, and what do you think the over-under would be? Think about those two teams. Basically, the greatest defense versus one of the greatest offenses ever.
Ooh, boy.
It's tough, huh?
That's a tough one.
I mean, the Bears.
Very tough.
The 85
but
Bears were throwing
you,
donuts.
You've
This is
in a
obviously-
Super Bowl game,
Yep.
you've got to go with defense. You got to go
Defense
with the
wins
85
championships.
Bears. They win championships.
What do you think the point
But
spread would have been?
the
If you had to handicap it,
a point.
1 point. I said 1.5. By who? Bears? By a point.
The Bears because of their defense.
What do you think the over/under would have been?
-6. No. Over under probably would have been about 20, 21.
Yeah. I said 36.
What was it? You obviously looked it up.
No, it never.
Oh!
It never happened. This is a fantasy game.
Okay.
I say 41.
I said 36, and I'm thinking Bears win.
There's no way it was 41 ever.
Not with the 85
Because-
Bears.
No. There was
No,
never going to be a
and-
41.
But that
and-
offense was
I
unbelievable.
highly
The
doubt
40
where you went over 30.
I
I'm
36.
actually thinking it would be lower
Well,
than
and
that.
what I was going,
Yes.
I'm thinking 2017 Bears in that game.
No.
All right, YouTube people, hey, show us a text. Tell us your numbers. We'll announce it next week.
What are we
All right.
announcing?
Yeah, we'll see.
That would have.
This is a debate that can't be settled.
I know,
No.
but you know what? At the
I'm
same
honestly
time,
thinking
you got-
never
you
have
got-
gone on.
You got both.
I'm
Both
thinking
guys
14-7,
coming
13-7, somewhere in there.
I know.
I'm
but
thinking we're under
This is a
25.
fantasy game. We can't look it up.
I'm
There's
thinking
no
we're
fact.
under 25. I'm thinking 13-7, 14-7,
But the
maybe.
89 49ers, I mean, that's the year they beat I know the Broncos, but 55-10. They had Rice, Taylor, Roger
I
Craig,
get
Joe
it.
Montana.
I get it.
If there's okay, and this is why I say
you're
this
talking
because the
defense,
only
too.
loss
Don't forget
I
about the
know,
defense.
the only loss the 85 Bears had that year was to the high-flying Dan Marino led offense. So I think if you took the 89 49ers against, they would test the 85 Bears. I think they would score over 17 points against them. Jerry
all right.
Rice in his prime, dude.
Which
Roger
puts you at 37, and I get that. So 12
Come on,
at
dude. You
2017,
had
yeah.
Mike Singletary playing linebacker.
Richard
You had
Dent.
Richard Dent.
William,
Oh my
William
God!
Perry.
I mean,
And don't get me wrong, they were laying donuts in the playoffs. I don't think they got scored on in the
No.
playoffs. I think they threw 2 shutouts, and the Patriots scored 3 points
Scored-
against them, I think, or 10.
I think
I'd have to
7.
look it up.
45-10 was the score of that game.
And
Yeah.
internet's down for me
43-10.
right now, so I can't look it up.
45-10 for the
So,
Super Bowl 20.
we're taking the Bears. And we just kind of want to start this segment. And for the future, all-time great teams versus all-time great teams. Like, what year do you think, what Raiders team was the all-time greatest of all Raiders teams? 76, 81, or 83?
83.
Wow.
I mean, 76,
Oh
they were
man,
freaking...
76 was incredible
You said
year.
76, 81, or what?
Incredible year.
Right?
83.
83.
I,
It was 83, 85.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Do you guys beat the
that's
Eagles?
a
You beat
tough question.
Well, in '83, you guys had Marcus Allen, that was your MVP, Super Bowl MVP, against Washington Redskins.
Yep.
83-84, that was
Then
just
we beat
disgusting. And
Philly.
76,
That was
you had
81
King,
you beat
You
Philly,
had
wasn't it?
Plunkett.
No,
but
that was the last one
It
we
just-
won. We beat Philly.
I like 83-84 because they had more power. They had a rookie called Howie Long.
Yeah.
And then they had Matt Millen. They had Ray Guy. They had
Well-
Lester. You guys had the team.
I'm
You guys had
I'm a
the
little
team.
bit. Oh yeah, and that was a great team. Any team that wins a Super Bowl is a great team.
Yeah, obviously.
You have to go back to 1976
That was
and
old
look at.
school
I
football.
know,
They
I
were
know. But
smashing.
in my humble opinion, around here in Broncos country,
Was that back
All day,
was,
boy.
Was that back
That-
then when it was black and gray TV screens?
no, Tony, they actually had color back then.
Oh,
But
where
that
is a-
was a team that was a mixture of great players and a bunch of bad boys.
Yeah.
You had John Matuzak, you had Lyle Alzado, you had guys like that in 83, 85. You go back to 76. Dude, Ted Hendricks? Are you kidding me?
No, I know.
Yeah.
Hey, how much of
Kenny
a pickup
Stabler,
The snake.
George Banachek.
That was the original.
I mean,
that was the original autumn wind.
come on.
The autumn
Goes to
wind
the post.
is a Raider.
Stop.
Yeah. And
That was it.
How
That
bad
was
did you beat
that was
Minnesota?
what was it? 24-10.
Because I know you probably whipped some ass on that one.
The biggest Super Bowl win we had was against Washington, though, when
Yeah.
we absolutely
You guys-
dominated Joe Theismann
you guys
and
might
John
have gotten your
Riggins.
4th Super Bowl win, but you lost to somebody in the AFC Championship game in 1977.
Tuck rule.
Denver Broncos. When
That
Tom
was-
Jackson flipped off Joe Madden on the sideline.
and then what happened when we
Oh,
went
yeah.
to
the
the big
dynasty
game?
Yep.
of the Denver Broncos was born.
Yeah, and then we got to play the Cowboys.
Yeah, well,
Where there's rookie
we got
called
there.
Tony Dorsett.
We got there.
And
But
y'all
at the
got
same time,
And the
there was
Doomsday
another one
There's
where
more. Y'all
it was
got
in a
smoked.
storm for the
Four.
Raiders. The Raiders in the storm. Was that a fumble or was it not against
That
the
AFC
Patriots?
Championship game in 1977 put
Stop
Denver
with the tuck
on
rule.
the map.
Absolutely.
Stop
agree with
with
you.
the
We finally
tuck
went
rule.
from getting bullied by the Raiders year in and
We
year
finally
out.
went from a team that nobody cared about to, oh my God, who is this?
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
first year that we
they
actually
made
did
the
that.
Super Bowl. Whoa, what
Right.
the hell?
for the
Yeah.
first
That was-
time ever.
That was Team Orange Crush at that point.
Orange Crush,
That was,
me.
it was
Yeah.
great. That was the
City
first
was
time we were
nuts.
actually on the board.
Yep. So,
We had a chip in the game at that
David
point.
Redmond, first game of the year. We've already got our wager. We're thinking we might do our first ever live podcast. We might set up one table of Broncos fans, then you guys over there watch it out here together.
I can do that.
Sound like fun?
I can do that. Sounds like fun.
This is an argument. that-
So-
that is to be continued.
You
$100 bar tab.
well, it's
You
gonna
got-
be me
I
and
got 2.5 points.
me and Taylor, Alyssa at that table.
Me, Tony, and
And so when
whoever else.
the game's like in the third quarter and it's pretty much over,
'Cause the Broncos
and you
are
guys
destroying
are
the Raiders.
leaving because the Raiders are just beating
That
you
will
like
not
a
happen.
redheaded stepchild.
All right, the Broncos.
Yes.
Oh God! Why do I always got to be sitting next to him when he does that?
Hey, did it get on your phone?
Right.
That's
Oh
the
no,
question.
it didn't. It's in my pocket. I think
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have some cheese
All
in
right.
my pocket. All right,
Hey,
David. Thanks for coming on. To be continued.
Thank you, brother.
Broncos Raiders.
Yep. We'll get together
I don't know, I
when the golf playoffs start here. They start this week, this Thursday. We'll get together when it gets interesting. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, boys.
All right.
Love you guys.
see you next
We're rolling
week.
it out. What a fun segment! Hell yeah! We'll catch up with you guys in just a minute. Well, if that was not a fun segment before, oh my gosh. Hey guys, we are back at the Platte River Bar and Grill. Do us a favor. Seriously, hit that subscribe button. And right next to it is that little bell that makes you get every notification when we post up a video. On top of that, click on that like button. Make sure you share this with everybody. If you're on Facebook, copy out that URL, put it out there. Guys, we're going to bring back Spencer and the boys. We're going to talk about Major League Baseball. Spencer, take it away, my friend.
Welcome back to Sports and Tacos, everybody. We have gone over a lot of NFL tonight, but we're totally ignoring another sport that is heating up, Major League Baseball. We're in the second half of the season, and we're getting into pennant races, basically. We're getting into the most interesting time of baseball. And I want to talk about some stuff, teams that are on the rise, teams that are dropping off a cliff, and World Series odds.
Cliff, you mean like the Rockies?
Like
Hey
the
man, I'm
Rockies.
still praying for Rocktober.
I think you're the only one.
I
left.
like Rocktober.
You're the only one.
Yeah,
left, Big
you'll be
Daddy.
watching it on TV.
You're the only one that's hoping that we're going to go there.
They're going to be watching Rocktober from a golf course somewhere, probably, unfortunately. But I want to start off with Zach Greinke ending up a freaking Houston Astro. And how the Houston Astros are basically becoming the Golden State Warriors of the MLB.
Or the Yankees.
They're even...
No, I even say more so
I
because
don't
the
even-
Yankees
I-
didn't
look.
even. I mean, they did the last couple of years, but
Or
this
the
year
Boston
they
Celtics.
stood pat.
They're becoming the Golden State Warriors all of a sudden.
They're getting the best arm available. What, Verlander a couple of years ago when they came out.
They
Now you get Greinke out of that staff.
And they got Garrett Cole already. So they got 2 aces. They now have 3 aces.
Yep.
Which one do you want to play,
Is that-
kids?
is that-
Which one do you want to play?
The reason I bring it up is, well, I don't know, Bama.
I mean,
Is it good for baseball?
and I've been thinking about that, man. And honestly, I say no.
I don't think it is
I
either.
say no.
No, I like it because you know what?
It's kind of like you brought up with Gold State trying to get a team to buy the damn season right there with
Right.
that one acquisition there at the end.
They picked up Durant a couple years ago and made a super team.
Yeah, and well, they took him from Arizona, who's still fighting for a playoff spot himself. So I mean, I don't want to say it's good for baseball necessarily, but
It's good for Houston.
it's
but
good for Houston, and it sucks for everybody else in the major leagues right there because that is going to be really hard to beat. But you know they did it to try and compete with the Yankees, that kind of lineup.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, I don't blame them for that.
they're-
And you got to have a pretty damn good GM to pull 2 deals like that off, getting aces like that with Verlander a handful of years ago, plus all of a sudden Greinke now. So you got to give them some props for what they're doing.
No, they're doing it. No, they're competing with the Yankees. They're now the favorite to win the World Series.
And it should be.
They leapfrogged the Dodgers and the Yankees. They're all of a sudden 2-1 to win
How
the
could
World
you not
Series.
be? I mean, with the offense they
With
got,
that
plus
offense
the
and now
pitching,
3
I mean, come on.
aces.
Yeah, but everybody, guys, and you know this, I know this. Everybody loves the David versus Goliath.
Yeah, no, and
Everybody loves it. Guess what? Everybody's going to take the underdog against whoever's the big boys in there. You got the Dodgers. You got the Yankees. Now you got Houston that, like you said, leapfrog. Hey, listen. It's one of those. Everybody's always going to choose the underdog on this one. Unless you're not from that city. Or
Yeah.
But
state.
who's the underdog? I mean, yes, Houston just jumped up. I mean, I'm not ever going to call the Yankees an
So-
underdog. I wouldn't call
No,
the
no, no,
Dodgers
no,
an
no,
underdog.
no, no. I'm not saying that.
Well-
I am saying the teams that are playing against them in the playoffs. Guess what?
Yeah.
What happens if that wild card accidentally beats one of them, and then they move to the next stage?
I love it. I would love
Guess
it.
no, it would be
what?
awesome.
Well,
All right, let me ask you this.
so that
All
actually
right.
happened in 2007. Our Colorado
Exactly.
Rockies went
Didn't
all the
we
way.
win 22, 23 games?
We
No,
won
21 games.
No.
we won 21 and 23.
Yeah. So, you're just looking at it at that state where you're going from long shots to big shots. Everybody knows who's the big shot is. Nobody knows who.
It's not
The
a
little guy
it's not a
is.
guarantee. But the problem is, especially in a 7-game series against Houston now, they don't even need a number 4 starter, right?
No, you could just roll.
You
three,
can roll
three,
with
three,
Verlander,
yeah.
Garrett Cole, and freaking Zach Greinke. 3 aces. So not only are you going up against basically the greatest offense in baseball, but you're going up against an ace in each game. Even if you are the Yankees, okay, say you're looking at the ALCS right now. It's going to be the Astros and the Yankees, most likely. I mean,
I
who
see
are the
upsets.
Yankees throwing against them? Tanaka,
Tanaka,
CC,
yeah,
Hap.
no CC, but Hap and Paxton probably.
Happ and Paxton.
And well, if they can ever get back Severino, but
Like think about it. Yeah, if you could get Severino, that'd be cool. But I don't know. It goes to a little bit deeper issue, and that is the fact that baseball still doesn't have a salary cap. Am I correct?
yeah. Luxury taxes off.
The way
paid
I
at the end
think
of the
about
year.
that is we all play fantasy sports. In my league, and this is kind of a sidetrack, but not really, because in my fantasy football league, we put numbers in a hat. We draw numbers out of a hat. There's other fantasy leagues where you get a $270 payroll or salary cap. You have $270 to spend on players.
Well, that's our baseball league.
Okay, could you imagine sitting down in our fantasy baseball league with no salary cap, and we were using real money, and you had a bunch of average Joes sit down at the table, and your millionaire uncle sat down at that table
Just
and was
bought it
spending
all.
$500 a player when you were spending $5 a player? Would that be fair or fun?
That would be boring to me.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So to answer the question, fair? Yes. Fun? No.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm going with it. Okay, so you got the Yankees, you got the Astros, and you got the Dodgers. All other baseball fans, I mean, yeah, you're going to go, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Braves. You have like the A's, the Cardinals,
Twins are kicking
teams
butt.
that are going to continue to watch, fans that are going to continue to watch. But in all reality, when you get these super teams, are you putting $1,000 on the Braves over the freaking Astros right now?
No, I would like to, but no, I couldn't do
Exactly.
that.
And like almost you're essentially kind of buying-ish championships, and it's kind of
In a
boring.
roundabout way,
and
yeah,
it hurts
yeah.
the sport, I think.
Yeah.
All right, but I got I
Don't get me wrong,
I so agree with you, Shotgun, unbelievably. But okay, you talked about the major boys, but at the same time,
It's like 17,
Five.
right?
It's 5.
17 times.
18. But it's 5.
I love you, brothers. I love you. But at the same time,
6.
you got Philadelphia, you got the
27.
Phillies, you got the Braves,
Do not put
you got
the,
Milwaukee.
Don't put the Phillies in the same category as the Braves.
Well,
Hey,
if you're
hey,
gonna say
hey,
the Phillies,
hey,
then you got
hey,
the
hey.
Nationals also.
What happens if you guys have to meet in a?
You haven't even talked about the hottest team in that division right now,
Oh, go for it.
the New York Mets.
Yeah, the Mutts. Damn it, Frankie. But at the same time, they got 4 great pitchers, and
Dude.
they actually.
Dude, don't say that again. I will reach over there and slap you upside that ball.
Oh,
down.
Elvis.
4 good ones.
I'm all shook up. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, baby. But that's what I'm saying, though. Like you're talking about, too, the Mutts, they just won today 6-2 over Baltimore. Even though it's Baltimore, they still won.
Wasn't Baltimore. That's who the Yankees played. They beat the Marlins.
Fish.
They swept a doubleheader today to get a game over 500 for the
Oh,
first time
shoot.
since probably April, and they've won 7 in a row, lost 6 in a row, so 13 out of 14 now.
Dang.
They're 2 games out of the wild card right now.
Wow.
The Mets are.
David versus Goliath
Wow.
and magical fairy tale Cinderella
Which-
stories happen.
I'll bring it back for this, which is why I love what the Mets did by not trading away their big guys at the break when everybody told
Thor!
them to do that and they were washed up. They made a trade and got somebody better, thinking that they had a good enough team to go, and they're going.
Yeah,
Then you got Arizona, who's at the time had a probably 5-game lead over the Mets in the wild card. Trade their best pitcher away to Houston, and now they're sunk. They're done.
Markey. I got Markey over here, and this is a great example of salary cap versus non-salary cap.
Okay.
Salary cap happened in hockey, and I think it's been very healthy for hockey, for small market teams in hockey to compete for a championship.
No, it really
You
is.
don't have the Red Wings buying championships every year.
Well, you don't have the Red Wings buying championships. You don't have San Jose buying championships.
Exactly.
Tampa Bay, you got to look at where all the imports are coming in from, that they're a bigger market for
You're-
just bigger money
I
coming in.
think because of that,
Nashville.
you're literally going to lose baseball in certain cities. It's just going to go away.
Well, they were already talking about moving a team up to Canada, split half
Yeah.
the season.
So basically,
There's half a season in
you're like-
Florida, half a season up in Canada now.
You're almost like cannibalizing your own sport with no salary cap.
Yeah, no, you really are. One great thing about hockey is that there's that salary cap that even if you go over that salary cap,
You get
you
penalized.
pay a penalty,
You pay the
but
luxury
then
tax.
you only can pay so much in penalties before they take it away from you.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
pay penalties all day for Avalanche.
So,
Yeah, that's why Avalanche
is
hasn't
major-
won since when?
Next year, bro. You just wait.
Bork.
Let's go
We are
Blues.
coming for you guys next
Let's go
year.
Blues.
But just to get to the point where you almost have a sport cannibalizing itself.
No, it really
Over
is.
greed and profit.
I mean, you look at what NBA's doing with all their superstar teams. You're looking at even what NFL's starting to do.
Yeah.
NFL.
or what you kind of end up with is like contenders and AAA teams.
No,
Even
no,
though they're
exactly,
all,
yes.
They're all major sports teams. They, like the New Orleans Pelicans, they're a AAA basketball club. They just
Yeah.
got Zion. I promise you, 3 years from now, Zion's going to be gone. They're going to get probably the first pick in the draft again, and it's just going to be this never-ending chain until
they're going to be what
they move the franchise out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be what the Rockies are known for, a farm team for the National League. Tony, I hate to say it, but you know it's true. The Rockies are a farm team for the National League.
Basically.
Whenever
Right
they
now,
have
yes,
a
they
good
do,
team,
bro.
a good player coming in, they either one, hold them on for way too long, or two, they trade them off for
Prospects.
a prospect
Yeah.
and money.
And money.
The Mumfords want money coming in
Yeah.
no matter what.
So
They still fill the houses even though we have losing
yeah, it doesn't
seasons.
matter. We could be the worst team in baseball. So they're going to get 25,
Yeah.
30,000 people on a
I'll
nice
pay
summer
to
night.
win. I'll pay to go to hopefully watch a win.
Yeah. So that's Greinke versus Astros goes much deeper.
Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna bring up a different subject. You guys ready for this?
Sure.
Who made the best trades after the All-Star break?
The Astros.
The Astros? All right.
Yeah, you got to give it to
They
the
picked up
Okay.
Greinke. Nobody else could do
that's
that.
The stud
Okay.
of
But I
class
am
right
satisfied
there, yeah.
with Alonso for the Rockies. Oh
he
my gosh.
wasn't a pickup, Tony. He got cut, and the Rockies picked him up.
I'm happy about it. I'll take
He's
it.
doing great. He is.
I'll take
but
it.
So
We need something.
I want to move on, just kind of look at the standings. This kind of goes into what we're talking about. When you're looking at the standings right now, what team do you think has a chance to pull a Cinderella kind of come back out of nowhere and make the playoffs?
I think they're doing it right now. It's the Mets.
You think the Mets? You think the Mets are really going to make the playoffs?
The way they are playing right now, with their young talent coming up, the pitching style starting to play back together, yeah, I could hate to say it, but yeah, I could see them making a run for the wild card.
It would be awesome, but in that division, you really think the Mets are going to leapfrog like Washington and Philly?
I could easily see that.
I mean, they
Yeah.
are only 2 games
Yeah.
back from them.
Yeah. I could easily see
Washington and
that.
Philly just needed to take a dump on a couple of
Oh,
games,
God,
and
I
then
just-
boom, here
Philly
you
tried
come.
too hard this year.
Yeah,
Washington
I-
didn't try hard enough.
The Mets relief
And the
pitching
Mets are just coming
on. Maybe if they make Stroman their like middle reliever.
No, he's their
I
main
know-
guy,
I
man.
know
mean,
they
he's
did-
I got
behind
2
DeGrom.
boys.
I mean,
I got 2.
Who?
Bama, shotgun, I got 2.
Who?
All right, here we go. And you're going to laugh at me on it because Bama hates them both. One is Washington. I feel there's going to be a happening. 2,
The happening?
gosh dang it. I do not want to admit this, but I think Philadelphia Phillies because of the fact, you even got the highest player in baseball with the most strikeouts going on. But man, they're large. They're large right now.
yeah.
I see those 2 making something happen.
He's not. Is he? Who?
Philadelphia Phillies.
No.
Well, you can't have 3 teams from one division.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
Can you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Okay.
Yeah, you can.
All right. So you're saying Atlanta, Washington, and Philly are all gonna get
Yeah.
in?
No.
There's no way.
Atlanta will be there.
Atlanta's
And
there.
How about them Braves?
one out of the 3 between the
Damn
Phillies,
that Marquez
the
kiss.
Nationals, and the Mets will be in there in the wild card. I feel.
Right.
One of those 3.
Bama, what, of when you're looking at the standings, what team you think could go on a run and make the playoffs kind of out of nowhere?
Well,
And I know mine.
who you got first?
Mine is the Red Sox.
Yeah, they are the defending champs.
Red Sox are 14 and a half games back, but they're only 5.5 back from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but they
And
also
you
lost
have-
8 in a row there, brother.
They have lost 8 in a row, but there's a lot of times in August and September. They have on paper a team that can do it.
Yeah, they do.
They have the
Yeah.
pitching.
And
They have
water
the
watch you
bats
grow.
by far. I think my pick would be the Red Sox, somehow overtaking Tampa Bay, sneaking in, and getting at least a wild card. That's my pick. I got the Red Sox.
You like the Red Sox?
What do you think? Anybody there that kind of stands out that
I mean,
coming out of nowhere, out of left field? Mets? He's calling it.
I called the Mets earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
He's got the Mets.
Yeah.
So that's our picks for, miracle playoff MLB teams this year.
Like I said, Jan Munt, David versus Goliath.
And it is. You really have some Goliaths right now, which leads me into at least my last topic of baseball for me tonight, unless you guys got any more. And that is the odds to win the World Series. And because right now it's dominated by the Astros, the Yankees, and the Astros, Dodgers, Yankees.
Should be.
Is there any, which it should be, is there any team that you would freaking throw a little something on to be that, David?
I would take Tampa Bay.
That's actually
Not bad.
not a terrible
Got nothing
pick.
against them. They win
I
90
would
games
take
a year.
Tampa Bay.
That they could be.
They're doing the right moves. They made right picks. They're pitching. Jeez, all around team is good.
They are. They are a good team.
Even though there's not a lot of no-namers on there, but guess what? One falls down, they all fall down. When they freaking one steps up, geez Louise. And they've all been stepping up.
Interestingly enough, the
God, I'm with the Braves out.
the Rays, the Rays are 25-1.
That's a nice bet.
That's a good. Yeah,
That's
not
a nice
bad.
You know what I think the best bet is? Dude, the Red Sox are 60-1.
yeah.
They're
look what's happening.
I don't know, man.
Look
They
what's
got,
happening. They're
They
falling.
have the talent. They did it last year.
They
Now,
do
is it
have the
going to
talent.
happen? Probably not. But is it worth a 60-1?
Hey,
What is the
Bama.
Braves?
Bama, don't forget. Anything over 50-1, I'm gonna pull.
That's
I'm
true.
gonna
You're
place
on
a
it
bet.
regardless. That's true.
I got to be on it regardless.
Your Bravos are number 4 behind
Yeah.
the big boys
That makes sense.
at
Yeah.
10-1.
Because we're trying to be a big boy. We're just
Yeah,
not
but
quite
you do
there yet.
have
We're
it.
trying.
You have
You
the
guys got
pitching.
there fast, though.
You
We
have
did.
Theron that's
yeah.
been pitching awesome, and then on top of it, you got all these new up-and-coming pups that are hitting the ball like no other.
Yeah, we got a
And then
bunch of kids.
All
Yeah.
right, you ready for this? Freddie Freeman. What can you say? All I got to say for Freddie is, Freddie, grow your beard back. Whenever you grow your beard back, you hit balls.
Freddie
Balls.
doesn't really has a beard unless it's like a 5 o'clock shadow.
I'll take the 5 o'clock shower. Hit balls.
Tony said balls. All right, well, actually, no, we're going to look up. They're not even. Yeah, the Mets, 80-1. Could there be a miracle
that
this
would,
year?
Yeah.
Could
I'd
there
put
be a
something on that
miracle
team.
this year?
I don't want
I'd put
to.
something on it, but I'd be afraid
That
that's
relief-
that's money
their
thrown away.
relief pitching
Now,
is
if the
just
team's
so
50
bad.
odds plus, I would say the Mets had a best shot.
Right. Here's the point.
You think the Mets
10
got a better shot than the Red Sox?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for the division, if the Red Sox were in the National League, I would go with them, but they have such
Yeah.
much ground to catch
I
right
guess they
there.
only got to
with-
make up 2 games. It's true.
Here's the thing, Bama. $10 makes you 800.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it'd
know.
be worth the shot.
Absolutely.
I would
Yeah.
throw up 80 quarters for the Mets to win the World Series. That's
80
And then I
$20
would
all you
throw
folks that don't
up
understand.
80 quarters after that, just
I'll
because I
throw
do
up
not
80
want them
quarters.
to win. But
80 quarters.
That's all I got for Major League Baseball tonight. You guys got anything else? 'Cause if
I
not,
don't think so, guys.
We
That
need
is-
Okay, hold on.
Oh, God.
We need cheerleaders for baseball. You know what?
no, you don't.
No.
Oh, God,
you know
yes.
what?
Go away, Tony.
You know
Raw,
what?
raw, raw. Kick
I
her in
agree.
the bra.
We need cheerleaders for everything.
Ah, we
They
do.
only
You know
make
what?
everything better.
On that note,
You have Dinger. That's your cheerleader.
All right, guys.
On that note, I'm rolling it out.
Thanks for hanging with us tonight on another episode of the greatest sports show in the entire world, Sports and Tacos. We will see you next week with a bunch more updated NFL news, baseball news, all kinds of cool sports ball news. Adios, guys.
TFP out!
Lights.